talking about the global calendar and bringing you up to date with all of the happenings in World Rugby. Hi, I'm Paul, the guy behind Driving Maul, your best place rugby predictions and opinion. And joining me this evening is John O'Connor. How are you doing, sir?
Okay, and yourself, Paul?
All over the shop, all over, let's be honest. No internet at home, which basically means that it's been a bit chaotic trying to pull this show together tonight. But we're there. We are here. We are live. And thank you, everyone, once you join us, because, yes, it's not been pre-set up. Now, we are here at 8 p.m. every Tuesday. If you're listening to the podcast, which you can do on all your favourite casters, Spotify and iTunes and all that kind of wonderful stuff, then thank you. Don't forget to subscribe, tell your mates, and all of that kind of stuff. I need a glass of wine. How you doing, John?
I'm good, man. Glad to be joining you.
So, a couple of quick news items before we get going. Obviously, got to bring people up to speed with the World Rugby rankings and how they've been changing the last week. The top 10 are pretty stable, as none of them have played since the very World Cup final, funnily enough. But a big hat tip to Andorra, the biggest climbers of the week, climbing up from 77th to 74th in the world. 3 whole places, folks.
The biggest climb, 3 whole places.
The biggest drop, well, it's Portugal. Dropped down from 21st down to 23, and the volume is very low on your end, Paul. Thank you, Christopher, for that update. I can't run around.
I'm glad it's not just my headset.
It's not just your headset. Oh, okay, I will endeavour to fix that with a number of.
Looking good, Paul.
Let's see what I can do. So, what do you think of those moves then?
It's been a.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, that's better.
There we go. Sorry, I was on the wrong microphone. There we go. Andorra, the big gain, up 3 places. Portugal down 2. The big moves in World Rugby rankings this weekend, or this week. The other kind of, obviously, good evening, Simon, evening, Christopher, all in the live chat. Don't forget, folks, 8 p.m. every Tuesday night. The other big, I guess the sort of big kind of things going on at the moment is we've got the top 14, the Pro 14, and the Gallagher Premiership all happening, which John is obviously following with avid interest. But some interesting results there because of the way that as the World Cup players sort of start to filter back in. But this weekend, it really does feel a bit strange, because this weekend we've got the European Champions Cup, or the European Rugby Champion, or Heineken Champions Cup now it's called, and the European Rugby Challenge Cup kicking off, which is the Heineken Champions Cup is the big daddy of club competitions. But it does have a bit of a feeling of the day after the Lord Mayor's show with the Rugby World Cup this year. I'm finding it hard to get myself up for this competition, which pits your Leinsters versus your Saracens versus your Toulons. It's the big competition, but it does feel a bit flat at the moment.
Oh, we had a tremendous World Cup.
We
really
did.
And so far as engagement of the country that hosted it, so far as we have a World Cup that can match this. It's quite understandable to have a little come down after what was really some wonderful weeks of rugby.
It is. I think it's going to take a while. Once the games kick off, I think we'll be all into it. Now, I'm not going to be able to watch it because I've got a lads' weekend down in a batch where I'm a little bit worried because the person who's hosting it said, I've got all the supplies. I've got paintball. I've got all the paintballs. I'm like, paintballs? Hang on. I'm in my 40s, mate. I'm looking forward to a weekend sat in a sun chair drinking beer by the beach. And you're getting paintballs ready. This is going to be, yes, I'm a bit scared. So I'm not going to get to see any of the rugby this weekend, but I'm sure once it kicks off, the fans in Europe will be fully behind it. So that'll be good. But there is a topic that I can't hold you back any longer on. We've spent the whole of the Rugby World Cup, I'm promising you this show of pretty much an hour talking about the World Rugby calendar. So, John, what is
So
it about the World Rugby calendar that annoys you?
well, I don't think I can launch into my feelings on this topic without starting a question for you. So please explain to me, and please don't and what it is that makes it better for rugby in the Northern Hemisphere to be played in winter. Now, please don't tell me why they can't change because of all the hurdles that will have to be climbed over. I'm not talking about the hurdles. I'm not talking about the difficulties, money and shifting and back-to-back seasons, somebody doing this, somebody losing, somebody. I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about the problem change. Please tell me what's it better for Northern Hemisphere rugby to be played in the hemisphere winter rather than over summer?
Um, it's a winter sport. It's
No, no,
all
no,
about
no.
the mud. It's being cold. It's about
No, 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 no.
it's history, isn't it? Let's be honest.
No, 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 no.
History
Don't
and
give
tradition.
it a winter sport. It's saying we always drowned, always done it. For that makes it okay.
Drowned by me.
But you understand what I'm saying? Just because it's done it, right, doesn't mean it's not ever correct to therefore make it okay. Tell me what the advantages are. Besides, which is not an advantage. It's just a habit. Tradition is a habit, right?
Which advantage having people in the habit and expecting to watch at a certain time, right? Now you can change habits and traditions. Traditions have to you breathing. But
what advantage? What is gained by playing in winter?
The one thing that that's just an objective. The main gain of playing when advertisers want to have people buy at Christmas. So there's liking things around Christmas, content around Christmas is a good thing from a financial. But anything really.
Okay. Well, that's a legitimate point, right?
Now, just like me,
yeah,
help if the grass when it doesn't hurt so much. Muddy pitches are good for me. Less cold.
I don't know about that. I played in South Africa in warm conditions. I've played New Zealand in cold conditions. Tell you what, everyone seems to hurt the cold conditions.
My last experience of playing contact was in Singapore, in degrees monsoon rainfall, so water. So it was all good.
So one advantage, if you take the softies out of it, one advantage. But there is just a ton of advantages. We get the logistics shifting.
Oh dear, we seem to have lost John.
Having an aligned calendar. If we talk about the advantages for Northern Hemisphere rugby in the summer, and we must talk about that. First and primary, no longer head-to-head with soccer, with football, right? So in the UK, in Spain, in Portugal, not football, participate at youth level or engage at club level, in small club, and going up against football or eyeballs on the TV. Now, there's this argument that
No, stop. Let's get one point at a time.
Okay, but I'm with you.
First, first is class football.
Right now,
comments in the chat.
Okay. Go for it.
In Ireland, that means you the GAA or the Gaelic, which would lose out, would struggle in that. Suggested it with clashing with and cricket in England. Now, one of the things rugby and with football, get into this with the alignment side of things, but be it in summer now, way to the end of June. And football is encroached on. It used to be towards nowadays overlap quite a lot. Football does starting the team in August this year, will finish June. So it's being played pretty much. They're just taking July.
But you keep an eye on August, right? Just like February and August versus January and February. Who's been in Europe in January, February, and compared to July and August, it's much more pleasant playing, especially games that happen at night. So you've got August.
Yeah, so Simon makes sure that there's every other year. So the football Euro Champions Cup, which are happening in summer. So yeah. By summer you're seeing avoiding cleat, but is 365 in avoiding it as much.
No, but the schedule for the Europe Cup or it's the European Cup is not hammer and at club level where you've got so many matches happening so frequently. We've got club games in the UK, Premier League, you've got a lot of the Championship in one. You've got Championship, you've got FA Cup, you've got Europa Cup, you've got Champion. That's 5 things going on at the same time. Games almost the multiple going on every night of the week, right? So, football times it is only rugby will rule this on going up against these solid for 6 weeks where you've games going on every night. With December and January, they put multiple games, multiple options all the time, right? You don't have.
Let's move on with we've got a disagreement. Let's move on for a second.
Okay. The point is your environments with temperature, dry, long evenings, club practices, kids practicing in those beautiful summer evenings across all levels. It's just much more pleasant to attend the games, much more pleasant to begin, and it's much more just right.
So I guess the point here is that you're not talking about moving of probably being a talking and they play it thing lock, stock and barrel to summer.
Move the thing, parents, to see boys and girls that G in summer, right? And literally run around mad winter, right away. My proposal. Because look at all how much go head down to the west you playing, you go what like as long as it will be a game of rugby.
The second small as I lived in watching a 2020 so occasionally 2020 after work you fit so yes from my point of view the league has been and part of it moving the league to the audience by
I'll go because the time to gain especially if you check across all the various right all the various levels of rugby. Are we in agreement that we dedicates the fact we agree we have play for the longevity that we see we need a calendar.
Okay, so we're talking about with your has been addition here now is the other two hemispheres.
Yes.
Let me review the rules of 2020. 14 finals June, the Premiership on 21st. The Super Rugby will be 20th of May Rugby on the 20th. The competition will be happening within a day. So in that sense now forwards. The cup and they start. See what's of January finish 14 is like different sizes. If you're in the one, they're going to not the other. Pro has regular seasons 3 they usually play off every 3 games. Rugby is 6 it's 18. That big problem trying to double rugby. It's number of games have to fit in to fit into account. Say for the 14, for 30, for the 14 8 games, it's rugby in games, and then
well, we have used the session finals of various.
But actually, it's for the play.
Nations, as they have players selected not on weeks. They won't start.
We're international.
All matches the same with the nations. So that's it.
Because this year it's on. Lots of Rugby Champions went through October.
Anymore because that was a disparity there, right? So World Cup shifted the number, and there's no more break. It's all.
So 20th of July is Southern European or Southern Tour So they start rather than something could start 2 weeks ago. Means you could about the third.
Then reciprocal tours.
Which is currently.
Yes.
Or I've got to go.
Yeah. So you have reciprocal starting in September. Right?
Well, no,
and
you get it initially changed. September, 1 week, a weekend, and 3 games in October, and finish like the 3rd October.
So there are 6. There are each team has game because it's easier, right? Each team has 6 games. That's 6 weeks. 3 off with groups of 2. 1 week play, 2 week off. So it ends up 8 weeks. So you start in July and you finish in September. So you start the tours in October, right?
Yep.
And you start with South, and then the Hemisphere North. The Northern Hemisphere teams North first, and the Northern Hemisphere goes and forwards. South first, who goes first, because you know, right? There's a revenue raiders. So nations, and then some winner of the Southern Hemisphere Championship. In no bunches there. In the Hemisphere has 5 weeks to play.
And obviously the so what then to your club is at the beginning you get them out of month. You don't for scoring very much previously.
That's it.
You get to the end. Nations rather than that's yeah. Yeah, half the avenue down from if you like. It'll be coin.
I should charge rugby.
That actually historically was the problem that the play, which is that the reason 19 is because the Lions go might have taken RC and the players of the because it's not 1 year and making out of it. You go.
Paul, that is more professional baseball. The reason why the team plays, they play why I do this. It played football, quadrant, generous, massive amount of 15, right?
Yep.
And there's huge negotiations going to want to add to one playoff and it's $100, right? So yes, huge. I think what's into lines who needs program like more in TC just program more program. But actually I think we had a bit quality had a bit more of this.
Okay.
Right?
Let's hang on. Let's just look at some of the things that NFL have that the rugby teams don't have. The rugby doesn't have. Right. Okay. Number one, the size of the market. The American economy, number of people in the state is way bigger than any of the rugby playing nations. Okay, the population way down. The economy is near the same.
Okay.
Point of view.
Let me reply to that. The part of the problem that you are identifying here is because we have not our rugby, and as such, we don't see the rugby market as South Africa plus Australia plus New Zealand, very small, plus France, plus Wales, plus Scotland. We don't add it up across the board. We don't market all of these countries together because we are not aligned. If you add all those countries' population, it's the 330 million that they have in the United States. Agree. Most are looking at these countries individually, but we don't have that synchronization that allows the comparative market pool to be aimed at, especially if you're going up against football time.
Now, the British and Irish teams, they will get a crowd of 10,000, around 10 or 11,000 at best for a normal league game. Where the stadiums we're talking about with so we are talking about having to take so they can play a game and get 7 times the review because they've got stadiums that size. One like can play play 3 homes in November, make 2 or 3 homes so out of 5 or 6 homes, they essentially raise revenue to run in England because of the stadium.
So two both sports lots of money from games. It comes to TV, right? Having said, acknowledge they made a lot of money, but the amount of TV rights. Now consider NL as series groupings. It's in the NFC, and AFC, and NFC West, and there's a bunch of little countries playing this right, grouped together with school games. We had rugby aligned. And put it to you, if you were to have the opportunity of going to see a game at Gloucester, or maybe a game at Montpellier, and it being played at PM, in all conditions, right, could go down with your mates in really outdoor make an of it, then you want 70,000 people going. Maybe you'll have in for 30 or 40,000, right? I don't blame you in nighttime games in your drop it by TV. I don't blame them at all.
Well, those they are increasing. It's in the gun.
Yes. Yeah, and that's a whole section discussion about how bizarre is Super Rugby, and just it's bizarre that they're for money, and the result that we've seen in the video of play for it's not just wonderful. Brent Impey, so let's on allow the national rugby because there's another way to shift rugby in the southern hemisphere, that summer sport in that way. Everything else around in the southern hemisphere. Now, I would propose that is far less logical, simply because the southern hemisphere will not greatly, the northern hemisphere will benefit there. The southern hemisphere will benefit because they will be playing in the evenings, they'll be up against it, right? They won't against rugby, they won't against Australia, they won't against the opponents they have in the southern hemisphere. So there'll be lots of benefit. The downside will be playing in the heat, but they're leaving it in the tough of the. But there's I don't know if it's saying over festive season for rugby like Zealand where it's cold, but the benefit is not great for the hemisphere to as the gains for the hemisphere. But up to you, the hemisphere does change. Then let the southern hemisphere.
How would you change? Obviously, you'd move the championship to the Six Nations win.
Yes, and you start playing in September.
And then
you be to fullness, and you line it so that it's finished February.
So if we take 5 months and we finish, you super end of beginning of February, end of December, October. If you began rugby in December, be all finished by February to March on your ship. Essentially, enough is your reason. You have tours again. Actually, you need that no tour window somewhere.
You should say that. How many we did for Super Rugby Steam games? 18 weeks?
No, 18 weeks.
So work backwards, and we say that March. So let's start in October. You got October, November, December, January, February. Finish Super Rugby, right? Make sense?
February till mid.
Well, exactly. We March, and it was March and April. Finish in April, right? This is nice, great, and you can access the East Ends, the match, and you run the minor team and the championship in the championship.
Yep.
And you have to do a tour. Then,
yeah, I think it's to fit the November and the reminder. I mean, the whole is predicated on the fact that internationals happen at the time of closing, whereas the whole Southern Hemisphere schedules, national and rugby, do not clash. The big, as I said at the end of the difference between how each they have their tier where you essentially have nationals, rugby, and club. So Super run 2 competitions in parallel: Super Rugby and club professionals. Whereas in the North Sphere, you have 2-tier system: international, club, and they overlap. And that club would have enough, which yours perhaps, but it's the around that by having 2 clubs at the same time to allow all the players to have approximately 33 games a year.
So here's my thoughts. I think Sonoma also that it's only 2 because I would do that is internal, and then it's the Heineken Cup or Champions, what it ends the general leagues, because you need to be done in these. To that, I would put it there.
There's different levels of challenge. The Sims.
Yes, play. Have the team. The shot if Springbok put it to you like if the Super Rugby squad was selected in Curry Cup time, is the exact team that Super Rugby play Curry.
Do yes. You have during you guys have what you voted for the Super Rugby Challenge